Welcome back. Thanks for checking out this video. Hope you're having a fantastic day. New ratings were released for the WNBA rookies. If you remember last time, ESPN specifically actually had Caitlin Clark ranked sixth, if I remember correctly. I'd have to go back and look at my video that I did on it because I can't check now, which is kind of funny, and I'll show you that later in the video. And as you can see here, this one's this is one is WNBA. Obviously, this is USA Today. ESPN's also out, which also has Caitlin Clark at number one. Finally, they were forced to do it. If you saw my video yesterday, which is all about Caitlin's season and the numbers she's putting up relative to other rookies, also relative to top WNBA players playing now. When I say other rookies, I don't mean just the rookies playing now. I mean all-time rookie numbers and what Caitlin Clark's numbers look like compared to those. So be sure and check out that video I did yesterday. It really puts the lie to this whole, is it even a question right now? Obviously, they're only 15 games in, but to even question who's the front runner for Rookie of the Year is absurd. But so they finally have Caitlin Clark at number one, over 16 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists a game. They don't say a whole lot about her other than they have her down at number one. Number two is Angel Reese. I think that's going to change. Well, I shouldn't say that. It should change. I don't know that it will, based on what the media is trying to give you that, oh, hey, Angel Reese might be better than Caitlin Clark, and people are coming to see Angel Reese and all that stuff. Uh, Look, she's putting up solid numbers, no doubt. 12 points, 10 rebounds, almost 2 steals a game. However, she shoots within 3 feet, basically layups, and her field goal percentage is 37%. You can see here she leads the league in offensive rebounds at 4.6. From the games that I have seen of the Chicago Sky and Angel Reese, I'd say it's fair to say at least half of those are off her own missed layups, which of course would make her a single digit rebounder for the game. Even if one of those, and we all know at least one of those is her, which will put her in single digits per game for rebound. Because, and the reason I say that, I'm not trying to put her down. What I'm doing is putting into perspective what the media is giving you and what they want you to think, because they're so focused on the double double, double double, double double. That's all you hear about Angel Reese. Another double double. I'd argue a double double is something that a big should get. Really, I mean, there aren't enough of them, I don't think. So there's that. I think a 10-point, 10 rebound game, especially when you miss layups and get your own rebounds and you're shooting from 3 feet away all the time, is a lot easier than, say, a 20-point, 5 rebound, 5 assist game from a point guard. But maybe that's just me. And here's why I say Angel Reese may be falling is because of, if we go further down, because of those numbers. She shoots layups. That's all she shoots. She's very limited. Her game is rebounding. That's it. And that's because of her height and her size, because no one's out jumping her who's smaller than her, because none of them have a vertical. Angel doesn't have a vertical, but she is big and tall and physical. So yes, she's going to get her rebounds, but she can't shoot. She's not a very good passer. She doesn't move well. As I pointed out again in the Caitlin Clark video, Angel Reese is an interior player, tall and big, and she has 2 blocks all season long. Okay, just pointing that out. Now, here's one that I think may end up being number two, although there are a couple other. Rickea Jackson of the Sparks is starting to come along. I know the hype over there and the media has been more about Cameron Brink, but Rickea Jackson's starting to come along. I think she's still coming off the bench, yet she's averaging double digits. She's a guard and she's getting, 3.5 rebounds a game. She's shooting very well. at over 47%. She's had 16 points or more in three of her last four games. So I think she's one that's going to continue to get better. I think by the end of the season, she's going to be a better player than Angel Reese. So I think she's one that actually could, if there's a challenger for Caitlin Clark, I think she's one. Aaliyah Edwards is playing well for the Washington Mystics. Now, through 14 games, she doesn't have the stats of Caitlin Clark, 9 points, 6.5 rebounds. Of course, she is also, though, shooting over 52%. In the victories that the Mystics have, they've won two in a row after starting the season 0 and 10. I want to say 0 and 12. Oh my, yeah, I think 0 and 12, right? Yeah, 0 and 12. But she's averaging 10 points and 7.5 rebounds in those two wins. She's been playing much better lately. So that's a solid player that I think again at the end could be ahead of Angel Reese. And then there's Cardoso, who just came back. She's only played 7 games. She's another big for the Chicago Sky, over 8 points and 6 rebounds a game, shooting 49% from the field. You know, she missed the first couple of weeks of the season after a shoulder injury, but against the Fever a couple days ago, she had 7 rebounds in the first quarter alone, and she finished with a double double of her own of 10 points and 10 rebounds. So she's probably going to keep getting better. She is coming back from an injury, and she's been a solid player. She's highly regarded coming out of college. And if you remember, she was actually drafted ahead of Angel Reese. Chicago Sky had, I think, the third and the seventh pick in the draft, and they took Cardoso third and Angel Reese seventh. And then there's Cameron Brink down at six, which I think is fair. She's very solid defensive player. She's getting 2.5 blocks a game, but she's having her struggles. I think she's gotten more attention for being a better player than she's actually shown, than she's actually performed. I think there's a lot of upside. Okay, so don't everybody thinks every little criticism is hate. I'm not hating on Cameron Brink. She's a solid player. She'll probably get better, but I don't think she's in the rookie of the year discussion. 8 points a game, 5.7 rebounds. I mean, Caitlin Clark as a point guard is what, 5.2 rebounds a game. So, not much different. And I'll leave it at that. I mean, the top six, I don't even think Cameron Brink's really in that discussion. But I think Cardoso, Edwards, and Jackson all could end up getting more votes than Angel Reese. I think ESPN, I just want to show them to you because I want to show you something else from the last time. But if I'm not mistaken, I think there's very similar. They had Clark at one, right? I believe Reese is going to be, yeah, Angel Reese is at two. They have Cardoso up at three, and I'm fine with that. And then Edwards, and then Jackson. And I think, yeah, those three could be in any of those three positions right now. So I'm good with that. And then again, they also have Cameron Brink down at six. Now, here's the funny thing about that. You may remember me doing a video the last time the rankings were out, which was, I think, June 6th. And we talked about this article ranking the WNBA's top 24 rookies by the stats by good old Neil Payne, who wanted to become very, very popular. And if you remember, we're going to scroll down here. Cameron Brink was number one. And then look at this. The article's not here anymore. It's now behind the paywall. And you need to fork over $10.99 a month for ESPN Plus to continue reading this article. Now, but here's the other thing. And I didn't point this out at the time just because if I remember correctly, I'd have to go back again and watch my video. But I think Caitlin Clark was all the way down at like 5 or 6 in this listing. I guess they don't want you to see that anymore because obviously no one who doesn't have ESPN Plus is going to pay $10.99 just to see this article. However, remember this was June 6th. So I want to go back to how ridiculous this really is. If we go back to, these are Cameron Brink stats. And again, I'm not hating on Cameron Brink. I'm talking about the narrative from the guy who wrote this article. Look at the 4 games before this came out. Now, they had only played 9, so that's basically half of the season they had played before he made Cameron Brink number one. 3 points, 7 points, 6 points, 2 points. Rebounds, 3, 6, 5, 6. Now, before that, you had 2 solid games from her, 21 points, 15 points, 9 rebounds. But again, before that, 4 points, 3 points. So 6 of the 8 games, and they only played 9, and that one, she just made double digits with 11, but only had 2 rebounds. But 6 of the 8 games before that ranking of her being number one, 7 points or fewer. 7, 6, 4, 3, 3, 2, and yet had her ranked as the number one rookie out of this class. Crazy. So anyway, I just wanted to update on the rankings for you to give you an idea of what they're saying now and why they've been saying what they've been saying. And they've gotten to the point where they just couldn't deny putting Caitlin Clark at number one. And one last thing, I almost forgot. I do want to show you this because it can be important. This is FanDuel. And if we look at Rookie of the Year, Caitlin Clark, and she's the only negative. She's the overwhelming favorite. If you bet 1,000 and she wins, you'd get 900 back. Angel Reese is even money. And then Cameron Brink is quite a distance between the rest of them. Now, why do I point that out? It's because FanDuel is not going to give you a narrative because they have to get it's a betting site, right? It's a betting company. They have to get these numbers right to stay in business. Right. So they have to give you the odds accurately. So anyway, there you have that. I just wanted to go through the rankings again since they are out. Hopefully you got something out of this video. Let me know in the comments below. Specifically, forget like, oh, Angel Reese is terrible and I love Caitlin Clark, but what do you think about the players below Caitlin Clark? Do you agree or disagree with what I said about the possibility of Jackson being really good at the end and maybe threatening, or Cardoso, those players, or Edwards, any of those three ending up ahead of Angel Reese at the end of the season when they do have the voting. Now, of course, the voting obviously is subjective. I don't know if FanDuel, how much of that they can take into consideration in terms of reality versus a narrative that the league might want to give you. But they do. They must do the best they can, right? So yeah, let me know in the comments below what you think, especially the rest of the rankings. I mean, I think Cardoso, Jackson, and Edwards are 3 really good players that are going to continue to get better. And I don't know that I see a lot of separation between them right now. And I think all of them could end up ahead of Angel Reese, but maybe not. If you're enjoying these videos, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button as well. It really means so much. I do appreciate it. It makes YouTube think I might have something to offer to everyone, whether you agree or disagree. And I'm going to leave it there. I will talk to you later.